How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our tech news video. Now, jumping straight into our topics. Yesterday we talked about AMD's new Ryzen 3000 CPUs, which on a paper sounds amazing, with like 16 cores, 32 threads for the Ryzen 9, the Ryzen 3300 being 6 cores, 12 threads for only $99. Now, they do sound amazing, especially compared to Intel, and I do kind of have to quiver in their boots. But now, what about the GPUs? So, Adore TV was the one actually supplying all of the information for the Ryzen 3000 series CPUs, but previously they also leaked a lot of very correct information, sometimes wrong information as well, for the RTX cards, and also they were the first to name the Titan RTX. So now we have information from Adore TV about AMD's new Navi GPUs, and from the info it does sound to be quite decent gaming GPUs, but they'll not be called the new RX600 series. We currently had the RX500. Now they're apparently going to be called the RX3000 series. So you guys can already see where we're going there. Now previously we saw that AMD was trying to mess up Intel's naming scheme with their X470 and X370 platforms. And now they're trying to do the same to Nvidia with the RX3000 naming scheme. Now, as for these leaked GPUs, we're going to get the RX3060, which will have 4 gigs of GDDR6 memory and have a price tag of $129, which will be equivalent to an RTX 580 currently, so an GTX 1060. Then you'll also get the RX3070, which will have 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory, will be retailing for around $199 and will be equivalent to a Vega 56. Then lastly, we're gonna get the RX3080, which is going to have also 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory, which should be going for around the $249 price point, and will be as strong as a Vega 64 plus 15%, so whatever that really means. Now, currently the pricing might change. It's just way too early to really tell. There might be stuff involved more, so prices might change. But I actually do like the naming scheme. It does kind of go with Nvidia's current GPUs, with the 2060, the 1060, and all of that. So it will actually make it a lot easier to distinguish between the GPUs. So that might be cool. They're kind of just trying to be a thorn in Nvidia's side, kind of like what they did with Intel. Now, getting on to some new Nvidia news, Zotac accidentally leaked a new GTX 1070 Amp Extreme Core Edition GPU, but with a GDDR5X memory. Now, the card was quickly removed from their sites because it shouldn't be out yet. We also did see that earlier Nvidia did bring out a GTX 1060 with GDDR5X memory, which kind of made it like there's 5 different GTX 1060 cards out there, which is way too many. But yeah, so we're looking at a new card from Nvidia, and this just kind of hints to Nvidia just trying to get rid of all of their excess GDDR5X memory, just to make way for their new GDDR6 memory GPUs. But now, interesting enough, with this new GPU with the GDDR5X memory, the memory speeds was only hinted at 8 GHz on Zotac's site, despite GDDR5X memory capable of going up to 10 gigabits per second. Also, all of the other specs listed was just the exact same as the current AMP Extreme core, and it was below the AMP Extreme. So I'm not too sure if the information is entirely correct there, because if it's not entirely different, then what's the big deal? We might be able to get better overclocks out of the GDDR5X memory, but yeah, so far all of the clock speeds and everything is hinted to be the same. Also, pricing might not really be cheaper. So yeah, the 10 series is still being extremely popular. It's being sold out everywhere, and because of that, prices are quite high for the cards because the people don't really want to go for the RTX cards. So pricing, I think, is still going to be an issue, and Nvidia will most likely sell out all of their GDDR5X cards and all of their Pascal cards. But hey, because Nvidia is so desperate to get rid of all of their older GDDR5X memory, why not just put it into a GT1030? I mean, that's going to sell quite quickly. I mean, it's the really cheap card, but knowing Nvidia, they're going to bump it up with a higher price tag as well, so it's not really going to be worth it anyway. But now, speaking of Nvidia's RTX cards, reports have it that Nvidia will be showcasing their new mobile versions of their ray tracing cards at CES 2019 early next year, and then also possibly showcase their mid-range GTX or RTX cards. We don't really know what's the name going to be. I still think an RTX 2060 or RTX 2050 is going to entirely be a waste, because just the 2070 is now kind of getting there to be able to play the games at 1080p 60 FPS. So at 2060 it's not going to work, just call it a GTX. But I will say having a RTX 2080 Max-Q laptop will be quite cool, having all of the power and still being quite thin. Now currently there's no word or hinting that there's actually going to be a 2080 Ti Max-Q laptop. That'll be quite a beast, but I think that's just too much pushing into a too thin form factor. But moving on to some of the blue team's news, Intel is planning to release an 8-core 16-thread Ghost Canyon X NUC with a 9th generation i9 CPU. Now previously we did have the Hades Canyon NUCs, which actually had AMD Vega M graphics built into the Intel chips, which was just entirely out there. I mean, AMD and Intel working together, that was quite a different move, a different approach for Intel. But now they're not going to have the Vega M graphics anymore, so they're moving on to having their own Iris and UHD graphics chips. But the new i9 is not going to be the only version of the chips you will get. You will get the i9 8-core 16-thread, but also a 6-core and 12-thread. Then you'll get the i7 with either 6, 4, or 2 cores. Then the i5s with 4 or 2 cores. And then finally the i3s with only 2 cores. So for the people looking to get these tiny NUCs, they will have a wide variety to actually choose from. Now, I have to say, I do like these NUCs. They're really awesome, tiny systems with good performance. I just do hope that the new ones with the new Intel graphics will actually be strong enough or better than the current Hades Canyon AMD graphics. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste. But moving on to some other tech news, we do have SpaceX in the news currently with one of their Falcon 9 rockets failing to land properly. Now, they have already had 26 successful landings with their Falcon 9 boosters, but unfortunately with yesterday's one of the grid fence hydraulic pumps on the Falcon 9 rocket had a bit of a malfunction, which did cause the booster to start spinning around in the air and accidentally crash land in the Atlantic Ocean just off the Florida coast. Now, it didn't explode or anything like that. There was like a massive light explosion, but it just kind of landed and fell over, which also didn't really damage the rocket in any way. And even though the booster didn't stick the landing, the main planned mission was a success to actually resupply the International Space Station. And then for our final topic, we have Ubisoft with Far Cry 5, which potentially could be in a post-apocalyptic world. This is after Ubisoft UK teased a short clip of the upcoming game showing a nuclear explosion and then some wind and stuff, and then we saw a makeshift blade shooting crossbow type of gun, which just hints to the entire crafting materials and post-apocalyptic, just going crazy. I love that type of games. Now, Ubisoft will announce more at today's Game Awards 2018, which is starting at 9 PM EST, so you can definitely check that out. I just kind of hope that Ubisoft will do a better job than Bethesda with their current Fallout 76, so hopefully they can actually do a proper job. But that is pretty much it for our tech news video. All of the topics and everything will be linked in the video description, so if you want a bit more information, definitely check that out. If you do like these tech news videos, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always, and then I will check all of you guys in our next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll check you next time. Cheers, guys.